Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. This is part 3 of my Universal Martial Art Code paper, aka the Divine Rules of Engagement and the Divine Principles of Victory. Point 14. It is a mistake for people to settle for a female that they are not really into, right? Intimate and intumate. These words and ideas and that word and that phrase are connected, right? Into, mate, and intimate. Okay, if you're not into them, how intimate can you be? One should not be gay. The words set and settle are similar for a reason. Set is an evil settler's rape by deception deity. He is also a deity of people who are foreign to the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order, right? So what happens when you don't obey God through me? You slip into chaos, and all sex is rape by deception, okay? And the animal forms, there's implications there, right? The boar, the hippo, the jackal, okay? This kind of unfocused, kind of smaller guy, or a tall jackal, or whatever, right? And the various forms in these animals, and these spirit animals, if you will, that's what happens by default when you don't obey God through me. You're not being sharpened by God, so you're dull, and you're unfocused, and you're in the order of chaos instead of the order of God, and so on and so forth. Also, he is a deity of the cult of the flesh and mere brute force. Okay, they literally highlighted that themselves. That Set prefers brute force. It's implicit in the stories and his animal deities, right? These are brute force animals and silly animals, right? You know, even a deer is a brute force animal. It doesn't strike surgically. It just kind of attacks in an unfocused brute force way, like a boxer or an MMA fighter, what have you. Okay. Certainly, Set's timeline has played out in a way that caused him to be a deity of people who are foreign to obeying God through me. Okay? That idea is foreign to them. So even if they hear the idea, they don't truly grasp it, right? If they, seeing is believing, seeing is obeying, right? Understanding is obeying. No one should date or reproduce after my flesh dies. Also, there will be no valid marriages. Point number 15. How dumb would one have to be to think that they are better off on any other path when they should be obeying God through me, especially the path or paths that were used as a sixth excuse to cheat me? Okay? So again, remember, this is also about the divine rules of engagement and the divine principles of victory, right? The martial code, the martial art code. So we have to touch on paths and ways and philosophies and so on and so forth to the essence of the point. Okay? So we have to really get to the essence of it rather, not just touch on it. You see, the children that do not hate their forefathers and foremothers for not having the hearts to rally and obey God through me are and will be inhuman beasts. Now, it saddens me that people have chosen to make their children, okay, to whoever may apply, we'll say, so, it makes it harder for them to say I break the rules on some website. But it saddens me, but that's the situation. Okay, the bottom line is, in reality, the children that do not hate their forefathers and foremothers for not having the hearts to rally and obey God through me are and will be inhuman beasts. And if they hate them with no higher cause, there'll be no possibility of no higher cause after my flesh dies, mind you, then they'll be inhuman beasts with no other possibility. There's no way for them to repent. This is what the main people leading the charge and everyone rolling with it have done to their offspring. They cursed them on the most extreme way, in a way that has never been matched in all of human history and never will be. Just utter failure. Point number 16. The government-run school systems of the world are made boring on purpose, illogical, foolish, sadistic, and selfish scum-made pieces of garbage. Okay? That's what they are. They're selfish, scum-made pieces of garbage. It is hellish when one is heartbroken and clashes with other students. Many shallow people are not capable of understanding this. Delaying me and keeping me from doing my martial arts system my way until 27, 28 or so made it so I moved less masterfully than I otherwise would have at that time. It nearly killed me. This is part of why people are supposed to tell the truth about God and martial arts, and attractive females are supposed to submit to the Royal African Falcon Top Martial Arts Order. So then society isn't disgraced. The planet, the inhabitants of the earth don't have that extra curse, right? That their attractive females were too dumb to submit to me. That is a severe, mistake for them to do that. That is a severe disgrace. That is a severe curse. That is part of the process of bringing about a severe curse on the inhabitants of the earth according to their deeds. Okay? It's the parable of the tenants all over again, the parable of the wicked husbandman. Last of all, he sent his son. Last of all, God created the top martial arts ever. And a bunch of chicks, and you can imagine, I think it's best I use a voice to help describe it. Okay? I don't understand. Oh, I'm too dumb to be attracted to. I'm too much of a coward. It's in my genes. Right? That is ridiculously disgraceful. That is profoundly and extremely, extremely, extremely disgraceful. Few females have come close to shedding that disgrace. Okay. And ironically, what comes to mind right now is one female with cerebral palsy, right? She had a development disorder, very, very nice female. She was like the closest female that came, other than my mother, obviously it's my mother, and I'm not going to date her or something, but she's the closest female that came, she came the closest to not being dumb enough to shun me. I mean, in fact, she didn't shun me. It's just she wasn't attractive, right? They're making it harder for me to speak, and that goes back to their disgrace. They obstruct justice, right? These guys, right now there's people on duty. I'm a dumb bitch. I don't know not to interrupt them right now. You see what I'm saying? And that disgrace is extreme. You see how it's not just the females, right? It's the LGBT people on duty right now. It's the racist white Jews and LGBT people giving the orders and on duty, what have you. Okay, it's in the human gene pool of those people who are dumb enough to keep breeding, especially. It's not in me. My kingdom is not of this world. Okay, they do not understand why not to shun the most righteous guy ever. They do not understand why not to persecute him. And their females do not understand why you're better off being tortured to death after being tortured for 1,000 years, mind you, than shunning the most righteous guy that ever lived. They are anti-Juliet, anti-Virgin Mary. They are just way out of their minds. Just crazy, 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 silly, shallow, immature. Okay. So where was I here? Okay, and the school systems are obviously garbage. Okay. Went over that. Obviously, after I die, no one will be worthy enough to forge a divine order. God would not forsake me and the righteous by letting them. Though I am feeling a bit resentful, and when I wrote that, and right now, I am thinking clearly. And there's no viable counterargument. Notice how the way I describe it, right? I make sure, after years of discussing with people, things with people, discourse, academics and otherwise, average people, scholars, doctors, you name it, psychologists, you name it. There's no viable counterargument. These are the facts. This is 1 + 1 = 2 where it matters most. Though I'm feeling a bit resentful, I am thinking clearly, and there is no viable counterargument. No one has even attempted to make one, as this is clear cut, as they say, clear cut. Who knows best? The top martial arts. I outmaneuver them, and it's a clear cut to a vital striking point, and they're done. Okay, point number 17. Outdoor light contact sparring, aka truly making a point sparring is what I call it. Truly making a point. Not just point sparring, but it's truly making a point because it's valid. Okay, and it's straight killers doing it, right? Straight people who have that killer instinct, right? Can outmaneuver somebody masterfully and strike them down. Before technology, breeding, and cheating and generational ill-gotten gain, ruined martial arts has shown who has a bunch of things. We're going to talk about the highest cause and the divine intention, prioritization, sound judgment, mental clarity, commitment to wise action, course, timing, and Godspeed. We're going to talk about a lot of principles, right? The alpha point of the logical moral path. I'll explain what that is. Discipline, focus, timing, wisdom, determination, will, heart, righteousness. We'll explain all this in the next video. I know I'm reading fast right now. We'll get to that. I'm almost out of time here. We're going to limit it to 10 minutes per because I might upload it to TikTok, which limits me to 10 minutes. Okay. But we'll get to this stuff and we'll see definitively how this connects to mind, body, soul, and spirit, and why. We're going to answer the question definitively. Why sparring? Why not boxing or MMA fighting or fighting to the death with or why light contact? Why not brute force, full contact? Why surgical strikes? Why Godspeed, Lightspeed, Falcon? Why the Falcon, faster and master? Why the vision? Why mind, body, soul, and spirit? We'll answer that in the next part.